Zimbabwe cash crisis worse. Talking about Venezuela once again.
Systemic important banks. They removed the one factor called monetary awareness.
Hey there, hope all is well. Back at you today with some more RT News updates. As you can tell from today's title, buy gold, sell stocks is a trade of the century. And so it's not too long ago, just last night, matter of fact, that I was speaking about how ever since this whole Basel III plan of allowing gold to become a more important asset, there's more and more people that's realizing the importance of getting their weight up in the form of holding gold as well as silver. But in today's article, I'm going to share with you why a certain hedge fund believes that it's the trade of the century to sell your stocks and go long gold. But before I dive into today's article, as always,
the numbers, they're pretty staggering. The vast majority of Americans have nothing put away at all for retirement.
Sometimes it's called the retirement crisis, but people aren't doing well at all.
Taken up the cause to rescue retirement.
For the first time since the 1940s, Americans are reaching retirement in worse financial shape than their parents.
This is not something that's going to happen next week or next month. We just don't have enough money.
So as I mentioned today, I have just one article, and it's actually from Bloomberg, and it says, buy gold, sell stocks is the trade of the century, says one hedge fund. And before I actually get into this article itself, I'd start off by saying that after and because of Basel III, but in actuality what I meant was a long time ago, everyone who follows the Rethinking the Dollar channel have been aware of the idea of rethinking your Federal Reserve notes or whatever currency you're using, and more importantly, get back to what's sound and what's true. And it just seems like as a result of this Basel III, more people are starting to take notice, more economists, more analysts, more people who are in the know are telling people to actually get their weight up in another sense, where it says here, buy gold, sell stocks. So basically, you want to run through this article here. As always, feel free to read more for yourself down below in the description. But this article came out today, and basically I'll thumb through and give you some of the highlights of it. It says, one of last year's best performing hedge funds says the trade of the century, quote, is to buy gold and sell stock as risk assets are due for another meltdown. So here we have first paragraph, Bloomberg News, as risk assets are due for another meltdown. Hence the idea of a recession like everyone's talking about, which is currently underway, I believe. It says only a matter of time until the bearish bets pays off big, according to Crescent Capital LLC. It says now the investment company says it's ready to capitalize on an end of an economic cycle as indicators warn that a recession is imminent in the coming quarter. So an economic cycle, end of an economic cycle. And unfortunately, this end of this economic cycle they're referring to will be something like we've never seen in modern day history. And the question will be, how will gold perform in reference to all those dying currencies? And it's good to say that it will outperform fiat currency because gold and silver are actual money. And so scroll down some more. It says the consensus is pointing to a recession in 2020 or 2021. Tava Costa, a global macro analyst from Crescent, said by phone. He said, we think it's a lot closer than that, and we have a number of macro timing indicators that we look at. And so here it says a bear trade. Crescent goes long gold in the Chinese yuan terms while shorting global stocks. Scroll down some more. It says going long gold in yuan terms and shorting global equities currently explains 3/4 of the hedge fund's strategy. So here we have the gameplay for this Crescent Capital LLC, their strategy towards how they're hedging and diversifying and getting their weight up. They're going long gold in yuan terms and shorting global equities. And so happens that they're putting 3/4 of their capital or their funds into this bet here. It says while the firm uses the MSCI World Index and models to visualize the trade, it goes a bit deeper with its short position, selecting individual stocks and exchange traded funds to bet against. So they're betting against the economy collapsing and planning on making a good profit off of it. It says among warning signs, Crescent cites corporate insiders who are currently selling stocks hand over fist. So here we have a warning here. Crescent cites corporate insiders. So they're in the know of a select group of people who are currently behind the scenes getting out of equities at an alarming rate to where they're also coming out with this in public and also betting against equities as well. It says indicating a potential stock bubble burst. It says in early 2017, those investors heavily sold shares while the S&P continued to climb. Says that happened again in 2018. Scroll down some more. Says U.S. economic data is deteriorating and inversions remain across the Treasury yield curve, the hedge fund pointed out. Measuring multiple yield spreads across the curve from Fed funds to 30-year Treasury bonds, Crescent found that almost 45% of curves is inverted. So here we have percentage of inversions of U.S. yield curve. So these little red dots here happen to all be at a time where the economy did not do too well. So here we have a unique perspective of a company here that's shorting equities and going long gold in anticipation of some type of market recession, which they're quoted as saying is a lot closer than most people may think, which would then lead me to believe that if they're saying that now, they already have 3/4 of their capital or portfolio ready to take advantage of the next recession. So definitely give us an idea as to what the big money players are out here doing. To me, it's an early warning sign of what has already taken place. When you have all these insiders selling equities, who's going to be left holding the bag? Unfortunately, it's going to be those that are stuck listening to old, archaic, dying financial advice, in my opinion. But other than that, I would love to hear your thoughts on this article. Feel free to scroll down below, leave a comment, and more importantly, if you found us informative, give it a thumbs up. Continue to get your weight up. More importantly, look forward to bringing you more news later on. Enjoy your day.